Good afternoon, everyone. Marc Robertson here with Austin Hoying.
Yes.
Marc Robertson with Justin Sage here with the great Alec Evernatis, none other than Steve Jamison. Here with Joel Younger and here with Toby Clack. Marc Robertson with Steve Misford here, legend of Australian snooker and Q Sports.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This week on 8Ball FM, we've got a recap of the British Open snooker and Neil Robertson's 1000th century. We do a massive deep dive into Heyball and the International Open in Melbourne, including analysis of the format, timed matches, the handicap system, tactics, and what happens in a stalemate situation. We review the EDPL semi-final during the week where Mick, Scerri and I faced off on the table, and Robbo gives us his grand final predictions. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps us enormously in being able to continue to bring you great content and guests every week. And if you're interested in sponsoring the channel, you can email me at info@8ball.fm. Let's go. Let's talk about some snooker before we get into the Heyball, because there's lots of the Heyball stuff. So last week, a quick recap. Shaun Murphy won the British Open, beating Anthony McGill 10-7 in the final. Congratulations, Shaun Murphy. It's the first title he's won for a couple of years, I think.
Yeah, I find that surprising.
Yeah, he was actually down to 16 in the rankings. He's jumped back up to 12 now. I don't think anyone was going to believe he would, even if he dropped out, in the same way that Neil did. Like, no one believes he's going to stay out. He's too good of a player not to come back.
Because they have the potential to win a tournament, they'll always bounce back.
Yeah.
If you can't win a tournament, it's very hard to fall out of the 16 and get back in making constant quarterfinals and last 16s. You need to be able to win a tournament and go boof.
Yeah, and he's beaten Anthony McGill in the final. Now, Shaun's a clear favourite there, but he's beaten both Neil and Judd along the way to get there. So he's had some good wins. He's won £100,000. No sooking about any ranking points from Shaun. He's just getting on with it.
Mark Allen did all for him.
And,
So he
interestingly,
can
I don't know if you have any insight into the relationships here, Robbo, but Shaun's been working with Peter Ebdon now for a couple of years. Peter Ebdon was there, and I think he's just he's classically known as a grinder, right? Peter Ebdon in history. So just trying to put a bit more toughness into Shaun's matches, I guess. That is Shaun's a very attacking player. I feel like Peter Ebdon's a real contrast into Shaun's playing style. What's your take on that?
Well, what I'm hearing is Shaun Murphy was not doing well. He's not just hoped to play better. He's gone and gotten a coach, changed it up a bit, and now won. That's what I heard, Marty.
Yeah, it took 2 years though, not one match.
It takes time though. It takes time
it does.
to
I agree, yeah.
Yep. That's why Mick's trying to help Shaun and Jack now, because it takes time. It takes time to build that up. Ben Noonan had a different one at Nationals. The team was struggling horribly in the final or the semis, and he's given the team a massive spray. And he says, "That's it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to break and run the rack in 30 seconds. You're gonna," and he done it. I remember watching, and he done it in about 40 seconds. It was a ludicrous maniac rack. The rest of the team didn't back him up, but you've got to be able to be at that level of like a Ben, where you can have the confidence and the authority to say that and back it up. And if you can't, then you got to take the foot off, and that's where Jack and Shaun are. They're at that.
Yeah. I've seen Ben Noonan do that multiple times over the year, not just as captain, but he is a momentum changer in a match. That man, so
100%.
But with the snooker, I always think they play a little bit too attacking in general. I've asked Neil about it a few times, and he always tends to have a pretty good answer, and it tends to come back of that you want to impose your presence and your will on the match. But it's got to get to a point if you slip out of the top 16 in the rankings, it's not like there's 4 tournaments a year. There's maybe a dozen or something, or maybe even more. I don't even know how many. There's so many. So that means you've gone bad for a long time. That means you've played in 20 or 30 tournaments and not won. That's a very long time.
And probably not made semis either.
Yeah.
You might.
And, his long pot success might, in his prime might have been 80%, and maybe it's now 65%. And that 15%, I'm only just throwing out numbers here, but maybe that's really hurting. You know, when he gets in the balls, maybe he used to average 65 and now he's averaging 52.
Yeah.
Well, if you're practicing and trying hard and your skills, if you think they're at a high level for you, you're just getting older, well, it's time to bring in a little Peter Ebdon, you know, a bit of Robbie Fulvari in there and fill in the gap a little bit and try and balance out the equation that way.
Get tough, yeah. Well, congratulations, Sean. Good on you for the win.
Well done,
Sean. Now, I've got a little quiz for you. Let me see if you guys are paying attention to current events. This is a very grainy picture. It's difficult to see. Can you see this picture?
Yes, a very lonely person.
Who is that man?
That's the guy, I'm pretty sure, that watched Neil get his 1000th century.
His 1000th century. Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
I saw that.
I
actually felt sorry for him. I really did.
Yeah.
I sent him a message, but I felt so sorry for him.
There's one guy in the crowd.
Here's the thing: do you hold off there and not make the century and wait till you play a TV tournament? Honestly, that's
I sent Neil a message and I said, "You done it in a cubicle. Why didn't you just not make a couple of centuries and wait until you're in an arena?"
Yeah,
and he said, "I couldn't. I needed to do it quickly to get the record for 1,000 centuries in the least amount of time." And if he, fiddled around for a little bit longer, then he would have.
Surely he had a bit more time. I knew he was going to want to do it quick, but surely he had a bit of time.
Yeah, and this is if you watch the video, this is like the guy kind of gives him this lonely clap, and that's the moment that he goes,
Yeah.
The video is actually funny. If Neil he walks over and then he just goes, yeah. And that was it. It was so funny, but it felt so sad too.
I thought the umpire and the other player would have congratulated him.
Yeah, come over and
I don't know if they knew.
Shaking his hand.
What? I doubt whether they'd known.
Maybe they didn't know. No commentators or anything. You know what? But for this one guy in the crowd, that was probably actually pretty special. He was the one guy who saw it.
That guy knew and decided to go and watch in case he caught it. Good on him. He was there for a bit of a moment of history.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Congratulations to you, Neil. 1,000 centuries, that's just feels so enormous to me. Like 1,000 centuries in your career, and it still has so much career ahead of him too.
It's like a lifetime achievement milestone. It's one that even the most successful players can't get to. It's like the AFL kicking 1,000 goals or something.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so hard, so rare.
30 out.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 players ever throughout history that have achieved this milestone. Just incredible.
And three of them had crowds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, he did have the big crowd when he got to the Century of Centuries, right? That was at the Crucible, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So that was a good one. So, smaller crowd this time around. Congratulations to that guy. I have no idea who you are, that guy sitting in the crowd, but good on you for being there for Neil's 1,000.
He's now known as the guy in the crowd.
The guy in the crowd. All right, that was the snooker this week. Let's roll on to the Heyball. There's been so much going on. So the Heyball International Open Australia Stop, that's a long name for a tournament, has been on in Melbourne this week. For the viewers who've been paying attention, like 2 or 3 episodes ago, we laid down a challenge to Robbo to have a go in this tournament, and he's duly obliged. We are on day 3 or 4 today, Mark?
Today was day 4.
Day 4 of a 6-day event. I think the finals are on Saturday. It'll finish. So it's been going during the week here in Melbourne.
Straight knockdown, I think, the last 16.
The last 16, yeah. So I'm going to talk about the format in a second. So, we have learnt so much. Robbo's been there every day. I've dropped in a couple of times just to see what's going on and have a look. And we've all been seeing a little bit on the live stream about what's going on. And we've learnt so much about this game. Robbo, I might just get you to start by talking about the game and how difficult it is. Like, a lot of our viewers will have played English pool on a 6 or 7 footer with a small white. Can you just give us a comparison, like give us some context about what the game's like and how difficult it is?
I think when you watch snooker and you watch the pros play, they make it look very easy. And you're like, oh, yeah, knock in a long blue or a long green or do all that sort of stuff. It's not until you actually go down to a venue and see a snooker table and go, holy shit, that's big. And you give it a go yourself and you realize you can't knock in a 20 break. You realize how hard the game is. The Chinese 8-ball is the same. It's standard pots and standard positional play isn't like on the 7-footers. It's not just when you get to like a prem level in Victoria, let's say, for the 7-footers, probably 90% of the shots are almost 100% pot success.
So let me just lay that for our international viewers. So if you think of like we have national level championships and then state levels. The prem level that Robbo's describing is like the top league before you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the state level players play in that league. So it's the kind of top domestic league.
Yeah. Once you get to a high level, once you get to a high level, there's 9 out of 10 shots in 8-ball are just going to go in. You're just not going to miss them. And then there's that 1 in 10 that's tricky. Well, in the on the Chinese 8-ball tables, there are some shots that are certainly easy, but you actually still can miss them if you're not paying attention. And you'll see a lot of very good players missing random easy shots. You wonder how that's possible. But a lot of the shots that you'll be watching on your phone, like a mid-range shot kind of thing, where the white is maybe 3 feet away from the object ball and the object ball is maybe 3 feet away from the pocket, even if it's dead straight, that's actually not an easy shot. That's extremely missable. The size of the balls and the speed of the cloth and the cut and size of the pockets, it's just it's a small target. And that's why you see players doing a lot of feathers, really taking their time, really trying to work things out. It's a game that you get severely punished for your mistakes and bad shot selection, and it can be very hard to recover. On these 7-footers, when you lose the white or something, you often have chance to recoveries. I'll face double that back in or try and knock in that down the rail, or there's often ways you can kind of just bullshit your way back into a frame, which I personally find very frustrating. But with the Chinese 8-ball, most of the time when people have lost the white or lost control of what they're trying to do, very rarely do they actually recover it. So every frame is like on a bit of a knife's edge constantly. So I love the fact that you're constantly what I call skill checked. You're constantly, the game itself is asking, are you good enough to do this? And that's what I love. So if anyone hasn't played it, go down to a venue. There's a place I've played at, Legends in Box Hill. Go down there, just play for 1 hour. And then if you never want to play again, that's fine. This is not a speech to encourage you to play. This is just trying to get you to just play it for a few frames, just to get some appreciation for how hard the game is. Because then when you watch it, I was like this. I didn't care about the game. Played it for a few hours with Mick the other day, about a week ago. And all of a sudden now I've got a huge appreciation for it. I've actually been watching it a bit because I understand how hard it is. So get down, have a hit. And then when you watch it, you'll actually appreciate, the skill that these guys are putting on.
One thing that occurred to me just as you were describing that, like in international rules on the 7-foot tables that we play on, it's very common to play a shot where you pinch the pocket. You can play it in one side or the other. And it feels like that's almost impossible on a Heyball table. It's going to be very rare that you do that because the gap is so narrow.
I tried pinching a pocket. I had a 7-ball in my first match. It was out of the pocket by 2 inches and in the middle of the pocket, but just out by that much. I tried pinching it. I missed it because I had to create some angle. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. You can tweak it a little bit, but you can't create savage angles. No, you'll just miss.
Yeah, okay.
This is a sport. This is a sport where you get rewarded for how much practice you put in. So you're not going to go down and play some Chinese 8-ball with some mates and just run 5 racks. It's just not going to happen. You need to put in 50, 100 hours before you can start doing things like that. It's I had my first hit with Mark, like you said the other day, and I found it fun. Really did. And I'm looking now, I'm going to get a queue, and I want to actually put in some solo time as well and enter one of the comps next time they're down here. So definitely want to give it a go.
Yeah. I would like to get a queue and give it and try and have a hit one day again. So maybe one day all three of us want to a tournament and we can talk about it, our experiences in that as well. That would be a bit of fun. So let's just talk briefly about the format of the tournament before we get into some of the nuanced stuff. So it was a 128 player draw. I think they probably had slightly less than that, so probably about 120-ish players.
No, more. It would have been more than 128 because they had a back draw.
Oh, they had a qualifying, so they must have had 135-ish or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was about, I don't know, maybe about 15 matches or so. So maybe about 150, something like that.
Yeah, okay. And for context, that's an enormous number of entries for a tournament in Melbourne, especially for a game that, like, it's the first tournament of this game that we've had in Melbourne. So kudos to the organisers for getting all those players in. So what they did to get
money too. It must cost a lot of money for them to have the cameras, for them to have the refs. It's amazing. Like, how many times have us three played in any Q sport and actually had cameras and had awesome tables been reclothed and had referees racking it all is actually quite amazing. And to go down there or to go down and play in something like that and have that, it's pretty cool.
I think they have about 20 tables and maybe half a dozen roaming referees. The referees will sit and watch 3 or 4 games, and if something in particular happens, they'll go over. If clock's running, if the time's running down, they'll come and time the last few minutes of the match.
They got practice tables for people to play on?
There's one practice table.
There's one practice table, but people aren't fighting over it tooth and nail. Like, Alec Everardis has pretty much got it half the time. It's basically Alec Everardis' practice table, and you go and challenge him.
So I could, if I rocked up tomorrow for half an hour, I could actually have a hit for 5 minutes on it?
Yeah, you'd probably make sure that none of the competitors... Oh,
100%, yeah.
You know?
But especially because the draw's getting down low enough that they don't need all the tables now, right? So and everyone might be playing simultaneously.
Everyone's found their groove, and I don't really find that the players are really hovering around the table trying to practice. It's pretty much, if you look over there, it's the same sort of 7 or 8 guys sort of all having hits on it, and that's about it. You get about a 5-minute hit before you start. Like, you go to your table 10 minutes before, you have a 5-minute hit, the other person has a 5-minute hit. Everyone seems to be pretty happy with that. I thought there'd almost be like a sign-in sheet for the practice table kind of thing. That's what they have in the snooker. There's only 2 practice tables, and there'll be 128 players, and you'll book in a time, like 30-minute. Neil will be on at 4 to 4:30 on Friday. That sort of thing. But no, everyone's pretty good. Yeah.
So for the format, like, one of the things I noted was it's very common historically in Australia for the big tournaments to split everyone into like a group of 10 or 8 or 10 and play like a little round robin where you play everyone once and then the top group few go through. In this tournament, in the last 28, they split everyone into groups of 4. That group of 4 played a double elimination, and the top 2 from the winner on the winner's side and the winner on the loser's side went through. And then in the last 64, they had groups of 8 with a double elimination again. And it'll be, again, the winner on the loser's side and the winner on the winner's side that will go through. So it's a different kind of approach.
The last 64 is you're in groups of 8.
Yeah, 8, yes. Two will go through. They're going to cut that down to 16.
2 goes through. Yep.
Yeah. Any reaction to that, Robbo? Like, do you find that better than a round robin or worse than a round robin? Like, I think the difference is in the round robins, you'd probably play 1 frame. That's what we've kind of done historically. Here you're playing 2 matches.
There's major pros and cons. There's huge trade-offs here, and each tournament, I don't recommend it for every tournament, but I'd love to see it in some. If you've got a tournament that is going over 3 or 4 days, like a Killer Crossover or a King's Cup, something like that, I would love to see them adopt this format. What's good about it is, so let's say my story is probably just the easiest one for me to tell.
Well, do you want to should we get to some of the rule nuances first? Because that might add some color to your stories as well. So let me just finish this. So so when we get to the last 16, I believe it's just a straight knockout at that point, but they're longer races. It'll be a best of 9, I think.
And it's redrawn too.
Sorry, race to 9. Sorry?
I think it's reshuffled as well.
I'm not sure. Do they redraw? Yeah.
I don't know how it's done. I would imagine that, so like your group of 8. I
heard it's redrawn.
Well, I would imagine that in your group of 8, if you've won your group, you'll go in a separate pile with the other 8 winners. So the 8 winners here and 8 runners up would random and then play.
Yes.
That's what I would imagine. Because if you win your, like, let's say Jack Whelan wins his group and James Miff wins his, I don't think they should be able to draw each other in the last 16.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. So they're doing a good job. They seem to be all over it.
I agree, yeah. At the very least, I'm finding it interesting to see a different format. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, it's nice to watch that. The matches here are races, but they are also timed. They are 100 minutes. So there's 90 minutes of play with up to a 10-minute break. I think the players can decide, like, about halfway through, if a frame finishes just before or just after the kind of 50-minute mark, you have a break, you go to the bathroom, you get a drink or whatever. And Robbo, do the players just agree when you come back, oh, we can start now? Is that what's been going on?
Yeah. Like in my last match, I was 4-1 up. And normally after about the 5th or 6th frame, the umpire says, do you want to have a break? He won the frame and the umpire come over. And I said, I'm happy to keep playing. He said, yeah, I'm happy to keep playing. So we kept playing. And then I won to go 5-2 up. And then he asked for a break. So I found that interesting.
Yeah. Fair enough. But I presume that means that, like, if you want to go to the bathroom, they're going to say, look, the break's there for a reason, because they don't want you to use it tactically to kind of get away from stuff.
I've seen, people say, just, I'll be back in 2 minutes, just going to go to the toilet. Like, that's fine.
Sure.
There's no excuse.
Yeah. Like, you can't avoid that, but you're trying to discourage it, I guess.
Yeah, you don't want match, because all of a sudden it takes one match to go over by 15 minutes, and it's like, why? Well, he took 4 toilet breaks, and the halfway mark we used 12 minutes instead of 10. And that's how things start running over, and that's how shit starts to happen, because it's on a proper schedule. Like, once matches finishes, I think there's 20 minutes, and the next ones are on.
Yeah. So there are 2 implications to the matches being timed. The first one is, it's possible that the time could finish and the scores are level, in which case there's a tie-break shootout. And my understanding here is the black ball goes on what we would call the pink spot. The white is on the balk line, but right in the center, and has to, the referee places it there, and you have to play from there. I believe you get 5 shots each. Whoever's in front at the end wins. If you're still tied, then you go to sudden death. That's just the first player to miss.
Like the
so
soccer.
So I've seen a couple of them, and that creates a bit of atmosphere. Like, when that happened yesterday in one of the matches, like the crowd all kind of came around, and there's a bit of atmosphere around the match, like, what's going on? And they did get into a tie, and they played out probably another 5 shots or so before there was a winner. So it creates a bit of tension and excitement, which is great.
Jamo had one. It was 6-all. Against one of the female players. I can't remember her name. I actually haven't met her. Plays very well. 6-all, and it gets to a shootout. So everyone all flocks. I recorded the whole thing. It went for a long time, actually.
Right.
So you have 5 goes each. You alternate, and then whoever has pot the most blacks wins. Anyway, they both missed the first 2, and then she's knocked in the black. Then he's knocked it in. So it's 1 each. Then she's knocked it in. He's knocked it in. She's knocked it in. And now he has to. Otherwise, that's it. And so now they're on 3 each. She's knocked it in again for 4 in a row. That's so impressive.
Yeah.
Think about how big that table is, and you're doing a
how
blind
tight the pocket
cut.
is.
And there was a crowd around, and then Jamo's had to come up, and he's knocked it in as well. So now they're on 4 each, and then she's finally missed, and then he's knocked it in. So they knocked in 9 out of 10 between them. Once they found their groove, they just kept knocking them in. It was actually quite impressive. Yeah, it was quite impressive.
Yeah, I actually like that. The other implication of timed matches is that you can schedule the event. The organisers know when matches are going to finish. They know that they've got 10 minutes. So after each match, I don't know if they've brushed the tables, but they're prepared by the referees. The balls are kind of racked and ready to play. And you can know, for example, Rob, I think you had like a match yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you knew after you won that when your next match was going to be later that afternoon. So you can go and have some lunch, or you don't have to worry about whether a match is going to finish and you're rolling on. You can just know what time you're going to come back.
Yeah, the roll on, roll off, you often hang around in fear that you'll get called up and not be there and forfeit. So you end up hanging around, not leaving and waiting 3 hours.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the handicap in this event because this will roll into the context for Robbo's story. So, what happens in this particular event? I don't think it's in all events, but certainly for this particular event, they've decided that the female players and the juniors, I think it's 14 and under, both get a handicap advantage. So they, what they do is they get to remove their last ball from the table. So if you break and there's 7 balls, once they've potted 6 of them, their last ball is just removed from the table by the referee, and now they are on the black.
Mm.
Robert, I might just get you to explain what that means tactically and how big that advantage is.
Well, it's massive. The higher the knowledge anyone would have of their sport or game or anything they play, the more the details matter a lot more. I've done handicap things with pool on the 7-foot tables, with people in the past. They get to remove a ball or whatever this, and they often actually do the wrong thing. They often just pick up a random ball, or they'll, you give them 3 shots of visit or whatever, or whatever it is, and they often make a not great choice. The lady I played, Bar, I can't remember her last name. Seen her play a few shots, and I thought, holy shit, she is real good. And I didn't even know about the handicap until we started playing as well. Like, I didn't even know about it. And yeah, imagine my surprise there.
I've actually got a little clip, just if we want to do this to set some context. Hang on. No, this is just this rule in action, so that the viewers can see what's going on. So this is Charlotte on the left of the screen about to play the start. She is on the. Do they tend to call them stripes or bigs? So there's a number. There's another one up there.
Yeah.
Bigs, yeah. So there's another one up there at the other end of the table. So let's just watch what Charlotte does here, and watch what the referee does after she pots this ball as well. All right, so referee removes the last ball, and now Charlotte's on the black.
See how she's overhit that a little bit?
Yeah.
On the this TV table runs a bit faster than the others. It's a different weave of cloth.
Yeah.
So that one would have ended up straight on the other tables.
Now that's a simple example of how the rule works. And in this particular case, it probably wouldn't have made much difference. But Charlotte had to do less work with the white ball on that second last ball. It was quite natural to just land on the black. So that's how the rule works. So, Rob, I'll let you keep going if you want to say more about the implications of it.
Well, a big strength of it is you do it for your last ball rather than your early on. I think to balance it out, they should get to remove a ball from their first visit, not at the end. Because the problem is, like when I was playing this lady. She's a female professional from overseas. If I was to play her off scratch, it would be a good match. There's every chance she would beat me more often than I would beat her. So that goes, whatever you think of my level, whatever you want to think of my level, she's at least that, okay? And I'm having to give her this handicap. So what happens is I've never done this before, and I'm playing with, and when we were getting in safety exchanges, there's every chance she's actually smarter than me as well. Her safety was incredible. It was really good. I thought I was doing good, and then she would do something, and I realized it wasn't good. And I tried tying up her balls, but then she was very good at just freeing them up. And then eventually she would just be able to go for a pot out, even though she would have one dead ball. So she'd pot all her easy balls and then just take the bad one off the table and then pot the black. And I kept kind of forgetting that she could do that. I knew she could, but you sort of forget. And then what I realized was that there was often times where she would have a bad ball on the table and it would be blocking 2 of my good ones, but she can't pot it. And so she was just leaving that till the end. So I can't pot out. She can, but normally she can't because this ball's bad. But now she can because she's just going to remove it at the end. So not only does it help her potting out, it gives her huge insurance in the frame as well. And I could probably go rant on for about another 30 minutes of all the awesome things that she did to make it very hard for me. But I lost that one 7-3, and I actually didn't play that bad. I was actually kind of happy to get. I think she ran 5 racks on me, and I was almost happy to get to 3. So far in the tournament, I've won the most amount of frames off her. No one's gotten past 2, except for me. So I said after we're done, I said I think she's tournament favourite. I don't think she needs the handicap. Part of me wonders if she would, from a pride point of view, prefer to play without the handicap. I wouldn't mind after the tournament if I happen to have a chat with her. I wouldn't mind asking her, but not during the tournament. That's not good. That's not good form. But I wouldn't mind getting her opinion because I got to wonder, does she wonder can she win the tournament without it? I think Simon Singleton won a tournament overseas, but he was put in like the division down or something like that, and he wasn't happy about that. So people were saying, "Hey, well done on the win," and he's like, "I want to play the best," like it might have that. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe she's like, "Nah, I'll take a 2-ball handicap if they gave it to me." I have no idea.
So Mick, what are you thinking, Mick? Like, is this good? Is this good for the sport? Is it bad for the sport? What's your take?
I can't really comment because the game's new to me. So it'd be a bit unfair for me to start judging right now. I want to go and play. I want to play against these women and the juniors that have this ball handicap. I'm already sitting at home. Today I'll spend an hour watching Chinese 8-ball. I never thought I would. But now I'm actually studying the game. I'm watching how people are actually breaking balls off and how they're setting the game up. I'm watching how people are actually taking advantage of that handicap and not. So I'm sitting here quietly absorbing everything. So when I get a cue and I start doing my own practice, I can sort of catch up a little bit. But until I start actually putting in the hours of time, I'm not one to judge, so.
I'll give you a couple of different opinions. First of all, I think it's a fabulous way to get people involved. It's great that they got so many numbers. It's great to see the women matching it and the juniors matching it with the men around the place. As far as I can tell, the women aren't dominating the sport. They're not winning all of the tournaments. They're now getting the opportunity to take deep runs. So it's good to see a mechanism being tried. Like I'm all for trying stuff to see how it works. And if this isn't the right mechanism, they can try something different. I'm all for trying those things to see what happens. So I think it's great for the sport in general for participation. The contrasting opinion of that is it's kind of a bit of a brute force mechanism to just assume that all women and all juniors are the ones who get that handicap. In this particular case, Mark's talking about he's played a woman who's probably one of the favourites for the tournament, even without the handicap. Mm-hmm. So is there a way to say the pros don't get it, but the amateurs do get it? How can that work? It's hard to know. Right. I'm happy for the experiment, but yeah.
I think the problem is if this was a common thing and then the women were getting very good results and winning maybe too many tournaments, that is fine. But until that happens, like at this tournament, there was a fair few female runners, and there's still a number of them left. If it turns out if you get down to the last 8 and there are none of them there, well, it's not too strong.
Agree.
The proof's going to be in the pudding. So whatever percentage, the females, there may have been 30 odd. I'm actually not sure. There was a fair few. There might have been 20% maybe. I'm going to guess. There was a fair few playing. There might have been about 20% female players. So in the quarterfinals, you'd probably want to see a couple, 1 or 2. So we'll see what happens with that. Certainly, I think a part that I don't like, but maybe if I played it more, I'd get used to it, is I don't like a handicap that shifts the whole rule set and the whole fundamentals. Like most of the safeties you would play are irrelevant against someone with this handicap. You have to change your style completely. Like when I played my second female opponent, Elise, who's ranked number 10 in the world for women's, I smothered the black early in a frame. My balls were horrible. And in my first match, I was trying to kill her balls, but I couldn't do it efficiently enough. She was too good at freeing them up. So I didn't worry about that this time. I spent a couple of shots and I killed the black. And that ultimately actually was a key factor.
Because they can't remove the black. Yeah.
That's the only ball they can't manipulate just by hitting it, Little things like that, and just really keeping them off an opening pot for as long as possible so they can't gain control of the table. So there's little things that you learn. I would rather them get, a 25% handicap on the score So if it's a race to 8, they get a 2 start. Or I'd rather see maybe they get all the breaks, or maybe they're first in every visit or something. I'm not sure, but I would like to see something that doesn't actually alter so heavily the playing style. And what it is, it's really unsatisfying. You look at the male players there who are now playing, and then they watch the female player pot, and then just remove the dead ball off the table. Always they're like this, and I'm sure it's not great for the spectators too. Like I saw in the chat, I'd never read the chat, but I flicked it on, and just there was a little comments, and it was all about how bad it was that they get to take the ball off the table. So I don't think it's a positive thing, and it's got to make the female players feel like they can't ever outplay the male players. They need such a handicap. Whereas I think if you get 2 start race to 8, you can still outplay them because you can still beat them 8-4. Well, hang on, I beat you 6-4. I just got the +2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it giving the female players this handicap? Are you handicapping them forever? Like, are you handicapping their skill level? Because the hardest part of the game is dealing with your one bad ball. They don't have to do that.
So some of the female players, like you said, are very, very good. Like they'd give any male a run for their money. So the problem I think here is with the handicap, those players, imagine one of us actually being able to take a ball off, how much of an advantage that is. So if you've got the knowledge to work out how to play the game with that handicap, you could almost be sort of not unstoppable, but you'd be a force to be reckoned with, So I don't know what the answer is, but I mean, look, we've tried giving the starts and stuff, and I suppose the problem on the flip side here is if they're not good enough, or you could give a 2 start to a lower division player, whether they're male or female, a 2 start race to 5, or I've given a 10 start race to 11 to someone, and they still can't win, and I've done that before.
Do you remember there was a tournament?
I won't mention the name, but it was a person I gave a start to. This was about 15 years ago, and it's just at the end of the day, if that person was able to remove a ball or two, maybe they do win more frames. So I think, like Mark said before, until the women actually start winning a bunch of tournaments, and I've heard a lot of guys now say that they don't want to play the women because it's hard. They're hard to play against, especially with the handicap. But why not learn how to play? How to play them with that handicap, like what Mark just said. Now killing the 8 ball and now doing other things. And I think people need to stop whinging and actually just start learning how to adapt to it and go from there. The girls are going to get stronger by doing that, and the guys will have to get stronger by learning new tactics. This is a newish game in a way. So the first few thousand people that actually learn how to play the game properly will dominate for a while, just like what we saw in the Pocket Series as well. Or when the Supremes come down to here, if you learn how to play the game on the Supremes with international rules, you're going to dominate for a while, until the rest of everyone catches up.
I have one comment and one suggestion for the organisers. First, the comment is one of the referees told me that in one of the events in China, they had the last ball advantage for the ladies in the early rounds, and it shifted to a first ball removal advantage in later rounds. An advantage, but a smaller advantage.
I think that would be a much better idea.
Out of everything we've spoken about, that to me just goes, you know what? That's good.
My suggestion for the organisers, if anyone's listening and organising a tournament, is if you had an event like this, there's 150 odd runners, and you seeded some players. Let's say that there were 16 players seeded, and perhaps they got to skip the first round, so they get an advantage in that they shouldn't be playing each other because they'll be spread throughout the draw. But I think if you're a seed, no matter who you are, no tactical advantages, no handicaps allowed. So if one of the women is the top 16 seed, they can't remove ball from the table because they are one of the top players, obviously.
Depends how you would seed it.
Well, they might be in the top 16 because of the handicap. You take that away from them, and they might shift down to now 30 or 40. So that's all I was going to say.
That's okay. That'll sort itself out over time. I think that's fine. Yeah.
I think under this format, I don't think you need to seed it. This format, seeding it, I don't know how much it actually even really matters. Might matter a little bit,
Everyone
but not a
gets
great
plenty
deal.
of chances, in a way.
Yeah. The format.
If it's blind draw, seeds don't matter. It's because they're going to end up playing each other anyway.
I think with this format, you look at Jake and Jack Whelan in stage one drew each other in the first stage round. So they both won their first match and then played. Jack Whelan wins. Jake goes to the loser's side, and now 2 days later,
he's got his life back.
Jake has 2 lives again. You know, and so does Jack. So they're at the same point again. Now they're separated. So they drew each other early. Jake lost, so he probably had to win an extra match. Got his double life back. And now he's back on the winner's side of the draw again. You know, so I think it's a I think it's a good format under this format. I think random is fine.
Like, regardless of the comments, like if I scan the players now, admittedly I don't know all the international players, but if I go down the winner's side, Justin Sage, Steve Mifsud, Robbo, Jake McCartney, Sean Dempsey, Kirk Dunham, Mikey Cacciola, Steve Jammo, Jack Whelan, like these are the people that you would have thought would be the candidates to get into the last 16, and they're there, right? So it hasn't affected the outcomes of the tournament. Maybe a couple of players have been affected, but like there's no surprises to see those names in that list. There are some internationals in there, and there are a couple of women in there too, and I think that's good for the game.
It's a good blend.
Yeah.
It's because of the format. The format's great.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I've got one more little thing here that I want you to try and explain for the viewers. This is the, I'm going to say stalemate, but I don't think they call it stalemate in this rule set. But you can see on the bottom left of the screen here, the black is over the pocket and a mole here is on bigs.
It's like our frame, Marty, on a Tuesday night.
So under international rules, that would be a stalemate, right? And an immediate summon and re-rep because it's that would be an immediate re-rack, right? Because it's impossible to get the white past those balls to the black. But it doesn't happen here. And I'll just, so there's a little bit of chatter here with I'll get through this. The referees all get involved. There's chatter. And then as we go back, this was what I found strange.
I don't think the guy knew the rule as well, because I think he was
a mole didn't know. But the strange thing to me is, if we come back to the table, a mole plays another shot. Charlotte doesn't play a shot. So he comes over, he gets ball in hand, and this is what he does. He rolls this one in, and if I go forward.
I think because it's a stalemate-ish in our rules, then she gets just to say, I can pass the shot back to you, but it doesn't actually help him because he's stuffed himself up putting his balls over the 8 ball.
Yeah.
So, well, in these rules, you're allowed to jump the white. So technically, like, her shot's not impossible. She can get the jump cue out and jump it and hit and pot the black. You know, like, so you have to factor that in. It's not actually impossible. So that's why I've just worked that out then. So it's not really impossible, like, because you can do a legal shot, knock the black in, and as long as the white doesn't go in off or off the table, you actually win.
So how is it that a mole played another shot without?
Yeah. So what they say, so he smothers the black. So they say to Charlotte, this is where I think the rule is not very thought out, I must say. They say to Charlotte, okay, we've deemed the situation to be at the point where you can't, I suppose, without a jump shot, let's say, hit your black. So now you can just pass, you can just not hit the white, and a mole will get ball in hand. So here's what I don't agree with the rule is that now they've officially entered into that area. So, okay, so it's been decided that she can't play a shot legally, so she can pass. She's passing it to him. And now he has the option to continue or just stalemate. So he has the option to just take the stalemate or he can play on. And then depending on the situation, I suppose you play on in some circumstances and you just wouldn't in others. Like this one, you just wouldn't if you're him.
Would it have been possible? Tell me what you think about this. Would it have, if he could have nudged one of these balls next to the black just far enough off the cushion for the white to fit through, but still snookered her? Is that a tactical move that he can play in this situation to make it?
If he can do that from here,
yeah. I don't know if he can, but if that's possible, like,
yes, that would be more ideal. And then your win condition on bigs in that situation is that she fouls, knocking in the black, trying to get out of it.
Correct.
But she will never get close enough on purpose.
Yeah, I'm not clear under this rule set whether there's an obligation to have a genuine attempt, and the referees would deem it loss of frame.
Here's my problem with the rule now. Here's my real issue with it. If Charlotte decided to play, this is what I don't understand, and I want to have a conversation with the umpires properly about this, is that if she decided to play on, so can you rewind it maybe 10 seconds or something for where the white finished up?
Yeah.
All right. So Mole's just smothered the black. Now she can actually play on. But you say, okay, well, unless you get the jump cue out, we've already determined the situation is going to be a foul. We've already determined that. That's why the options have been given.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to get the jump cue out. She can try and still hit the black, but she is now allowed to just hit the white into the bigs on purpose.
Right. So she could leave them near the black, but open it.
As long as you just don't hit the white straight into a big. If you kind of make it look like you're trying to squeeze the white through a gap this big, even though the white's this big.
Right.
If it's deemed,
then it's fine.
So what if she potted the 10 into the center? Like, would that just be deemed a deliberate foul and loss of frame?
I don't know the rules well enough, and I don't want to right now. So I've spoken to Alec Evernatis and Mikey about this, and I've spoken to one of the umpires, and they said what I've just said. So I don't want to make sure I spread misinformation, but like your question about the 10, I would assume she's not allowed to, but I don't want to get it wrong and have people quoting what we've discussed here as the official rule. So that's the best of my knowledge. I could be wrong. I want to speak with the proper umpires about it and set up the scenario and actually get an official,
and maybe
proper
we'll touch
answer
base,
from the head umpire.
We'll touch base next week on the results.
Yeah, I might send this clip to Bowen. Was one of the referees that was down there today. He's one of the best referees in the state. Does a lot of snooker and billiards. I might send this to him and try and get opinion on what the scenario is and how it works. Yeah, because I found that a little confusing. I didn't understand it when I was watching it. And clearly in this case, Amol didn't know what to do, so he's effectively just said, well, it's going to be a stalemate. So, and that's what happens. It ends up.
He can't win from now anyway.
He can't win, yeah. So I guess my question is, was there something that either player could have done for that frame to continue? Could Charlotte have done something to get a win as well?
I'd maybe pot the black instead of covering the pocket.
Yeah, sure.
When he smothered it, maybe, like you said, like leave a little bit of a gap. But if you left a gap on the low side, Charlotte can come off the side rail and, it's very hard to deliberately leave a 5 mil gap, very easy to overhit it by.
Get distance. Yeah.
Anyway, 4,000 plus subscribers. We're killing it. Thanks to everyone. Since last week. Channel is growing amazing.
Whilst we were recording 1 week ago, I think Mick, you said at the time we're nearly at 2,000.
Yeah.
And today we're over 4,000. So thanks everyone for joining.
100%.
I've got two more things, but yeah, Robbo, you got something to chat about?
Just the pros and cons to the format. I'll just go over it quickly. So basically, it's like a couple of rounds of mini double eliminations. So mini double elimination. So my route, as an example, is I lost my first match. And then I won a match. So that got me through stage 1. And now the double elimination resets again to today, but now instead of groups of 4, like you got a group of 8 or 16. No, 8.
It's definitely a group of 8.
A group of 8. So I won my match, and so did Jake. So now I'm playing Jake in the final of the stage 2 winners bracket. Let's say I lose that. Then I go over to the losers side final, and I'll play the eventual person who makes their way through that. And then if we get through that, that's stage 2 finish, and then it's the last 16 knockout. So I think this tournament is the best tournament in a way because if you lose early, in a normal double elimination format, if you lose early, you've got to win 1,000 matches to get back into the tournament. It's awful.
Yes.
It's terrible. But if you lose early like I did and like Jake did, if you actually make it through stage 1 and then into stage 2, it resets. It all resets again.
Mini comps.
So it's back on the even
mini
playing
double
field.
elimination comps.
Mini comps. Yeah, mini comps. So the pros to it are you don't need to seed things. Everyone gets plenty of chances. Well, you've got 2 lives, but if I lose again, that would mean that's 2 losses, but I'm still in. So you always got to lose them at the right time.
Yeah, because when you get through the next round, you get your life back.
Yeah,
at least in the first two. In the first round, you have 2 lives, and if you get through to the second round, you get the 2 lives back again. And then the third
round,
like
a video game. Like a video game. If you make it through the level, it tops you up with a life. So it's a great format. Everyone gets plenty of play. It's very fair. You don't need to seed it. The draw works itself out. You've got to schedule it, which has pros and cons. The main downside is so the tournament's been going for 4 days and I've played 5 matches. So I've played 5 matches in 4 days. It feels like it's been going for a very long time. And that's the downside is for most pool comps, like if you run a Geelong or an Albury or whatever, you can't run it over 4 days. People, it won't work. You've got to do it over a weekend.
Has to be max 3. It could be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but normally a Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah, so I think you would struggle doing this format and you do need to schedule it as well, and that just won't work at a lot of tournaments. But like the King's Cup and Killer crossover, I certainly absolutely you can make this format work, and I'd love to see it there. I think it's just great for everyone. So that's the pros and the cons.
Yeah, very good. Robbo, you mentioned you might want to talk about the technology, like the different cues and stuff and the jump cues and whatnot. Is there anything there that you wanted to comment on?
Yeah, just kind of, if you're playing this game, you want to get yourself a break cue and a jump cue and a proper playing cue. You need all that stuff. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was don't obsess over it. I see a lot of people generally on the 7-footers, people have their cue and that's it, most people, and they're sort of all right with it. But for some reason with the bigger ball set, there's a lot of people who really, I believe, obsess too much over the technology. Right now, I'm breaking with a normal 9-ball playing cue because I don't have a break cue and I'm doing fine. I'm using a snooker cue with a brass ferrule, like a 9mm tip, and it's spinning people out. And the only reason I'm making it work is because I don't care. Where other people do. They're like, if they had to use the equipment that I'm using, they would have had that as an excuse straight away and they would have been eliminated on day 1 or 2. So don't care if you've got the latest V10 or V12 or the Blink or the Rainbow Chalk or God knows what, and cues and things like that. Don't obsess over these little things. Like there's people like with the rests on the table, they're really light. They're really, really light and they actually are super light. And the X's on them are really small. I went to play topspin the other day and I actually couldn't because I had to elevate the cue so much that the butt of the cue was hitting the rest. So I told myself, all right, just don't play topspin with them anymore. Where other people, I've seen people crack the shits because the rests are too light. Come on. So don't obsess over all that. The problem is don't look at spending $3,000 on cue sport equipment if you've only put 10 hours into the sport. Put that $3,000 into table hire instead and use a piece of shit and upgrade later. So that's more what I wanted to talk about with the equipment.
Was Jamo happy with the temperature of the room while he was playing?
Jamo's been in good spirits because he's just been hanging on to the tournament. He's just been getting through matches, but he's on the winner's side. So great format. Jamo's been good down there. Very fun to watch him play, actually. Very attacking.
If you caught the clips of Robbo doing some interviews on the ground at the International Open at the start of the video, please stick around until the end. We've got the full interviews for you to watch at the end of the show. All right. Shot of the daytime. This is from this event. I don't know if you guys have seen this one yet, but this is one of our mates, Josh Gorski, at the table.
No surprise.
He's on the bigs. He's on the bigs at the top of the table there. The black is down the bottom. And he's got some work to do to get position
He's
on
in
this
position
black.
as usual.
He's in position, yeah. Here we go. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at this.
Let's see that again.
We can see that again, yeah. Let's go back.
You get the Q power on that.
Top left, and then I think he nicked off the ball at the top.
No, he didn't nick off the ball at the top.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
crazy.
He's absolutely annihilated that.
And he is bang on it into the centre.
That's the time you really don't want a snooker cue.
He's so disappointed, this guy. That particular shot says a lot for the speed of the table. Like, it's come off 3 cushions side to side to get back into position like that.
And then he balls along the way as well.
Yeah, like almost impossible on a 7-footer, right? On a club 7-footer with the cloths that we have. Certainly with a small white, that wouldn't be possible. Let's talk about the EDPL finals during the week.
What happened?
Yeah.
Let's recap.
Something happened last Tuesday.
Let's recap because
I did say the comfortable side that was sitting on top, or they may bow out very quickly. And it happened. 2 big losses actually. One against Gus's side, 19-6. You sort of got flogged in a way, realistically. And then against us, you guys looked in all sorts. I didn't play well at all. I won 2 frames out of 5.
Yeah.
And my team was just like, I think Matty was probably the best player on the night.
Did he win all 5? Or did he win 4 out of 5?
Bar 1.
Yeah. Yeah, he played exceptional.
He played some just good 8-ball, just 8-ball for EDPL, DDPL standards. It's what, if everyone played like him on the night, they would smash any side.
Yeah,
So,
I thought Jack was exceptional.
Jack was always very good. Timmy good.
But Jack, you expect to be good, but Matty Verhill's like, if you're watching, mate, you played really well that night. Like, he just played really solid tactical finals pool. Exactly like Mark described last week, like he should be playing in finals.
Yeah, he pulled the trigger when he needed to. He kept laying snookers. He didn't take any risks. He made the mistakes like we all did, but he
never pushed the boat out.
He was in control the whole time, and he played some good pool, and that's what for the lower ranked players on your side, if they can get a couple on a night, you're doing very well. And if they're getting 3, 4s, and 5s and doing what Matty did. Yeah, any side's very hard to beat when you're lower ranked players. I mean, Matty's got more experience than me, and he did really well last night and the other night, and I felt like I let down the team a little bit. But I mean, my first frame only had half a ball, which was my opening pot, and I just nicked the ball, and that was all over from there. And it just went on from there, And then I potted the black out of turn. I potted the black against yourself, and then went in off as well, coming out of that snooker. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of my team. They did very well. They've all been practicing. They've all been just preparing themselves as much as they can. I don't expect them to do anything out of the ordinary. I don't expect them to actually practice like me or play like me or anything. I want them to play like they play and practice like how they want to practice, and we have the best chance of winning. So next week,
let me call out Jake as well. I think Jake in your team. I think he won 3.
Jake started off slow.
He won at least 2.
Jake started
but again,
off
the guys down the bottom of the list, if Matty and V, they got 6 or 7 at least between them. Like, that's enormous when the 2 players at the bottom was. So credit to you as well, Jake.
That's about as much as Bowen and that after 2 weeks.
So just to recap, to keep recap for everyone listening, Mick's team beat my team, but to be clear, I beat Mick in the one frame that I played.
I actually beat you for about a second, and then I lost.
About a second, and
so
I second.
Beat you first. Technically, I beat you first, and then I let you have it with the
because I put you in deep trouble, and you had no option.
I had up there. Yeah, I stuffed up.
You were in trouble. You were in trouble.
Up.
Yeah, no,
actually, I think the first snooker you played with ball in hand, I would have had another go. I would have had a go in a way, but it's hard to say because it's finals, and the thing is because you had 2 dead yellows now. Even if I miss the black, you've got a ball in hand with two yellows still semi-dead, you're running out of options very quickly. So, yeah, look, it's a weird one, but
should we bring this up? Do you think the viewers want to see this?
Yeah, they can have a quick look. I stuffed up towards the end for the 8-ball, and then you did what you needed to do with the snooker, and I tried to get out of it off the jaws first, but I played it soft, and was just I stuffed it up completely, and then the second one I come off the rail with bottom to straighten it up to knock the 8-ball in, and just hit it too sweet.
So for anyone watching, even though it says Scott Parker versus Mick Scerri, it's actually me versus Mick Scerri. I was a sub for Scott Parker, and they hadn't updated the names on the screen.
They eventually did.
They eventually did, yeah. But this is near the end of the frame. Robbie, I don't know if you've seen this. Maybe you can kind of comment as an independent viewer. All right, here we go. So Mick's on the red on the right-hand side. And Mick, do you think the black does go?
No, the black had about 30% of the pocket. The shot before it, I wanted to land higher, and I underhit it. So I had to take my medicine there and try and sit it over the pocket. And if it fell in, it fell in. But I literally had only 30% of the pocket, not even. So I just had to try and get it over the pocket and create some pressure.
Yeah, which you did.
That's exactly the goal that I was going for. I don't know if it was on, but I just had to make sure that it sat over the pocket.
And the problem for me here is there's a gap down the rail, so I've got to cut off that gap and the open table. I'll jump forward a little bit to where I play the shot.
I'm assuming you have a go here, Marty, because you've got a very good extraction ball for the one on the rail.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was very surprised that you didn't, because I think I definitely would have had a go here.
That's interesting.
You pot this and run forward about a foot.
No, there's too much angle.
Well, then I'm potting this, and then I'm potting the next one, and then I'm doing the extraction.
And then you're doing So essentially, I'm looking for ball in hand to play that shot.
But you don't need ball in hand. You can give yourself ball in hand off these balls. So the problem is, Marty, if you pause it for a second.
Yeah.
So the problem is, Marty, you had ball in hand. You were just giving yourself ball in hand. You don't need Mick to, because
I understand. I can get in the position. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Mick fouls here, you're only going to put it where you could have put it anyway.
Possibly. Yeah. I didn't I would have had to clear a couple of balls to get there. But essentially, I don't know if you can see the mouse. Yeah. So I'm trying to get to the point where I can get the white to about here, so I can pop this ball to the corner and come off and get this one out. And actually, where this is landed over the centre pocket, that's if I get ball in hand, that ball is an excellent recovery ball at the end.
Well, if you get ball in hand, you just plant the yellow onto the yellow over the hole.
Yeah. Mick gets a little bit lucky here.
I wanted to swerve it around the first ball and then off the rail and then into the 8-ball, but the ball near the 8-ball was actually I only had like a ball and a quarter. If I had a ball and a half or two balls, I would have swerved it around. It was too risky. So I wanted to play off the jaws, obviously, and knock the black in, but I didn't want to do it too hard in case I hit your yellow out. So I played it softer. So if I did miss the 8-ball, I'm still allowing you to actually play a good couple of shots to win the frame. But I mishit it, obviously. I mean, I didn't try to miss it by that much. I'm trying to actually knock the black in. I got a bit fortunate.
Yeah, sure. This is what happens.
Yes, Jackie boy.
I think I play a reasonably poor shot here. I'm trying to push a ball across to both block the snooker and get an extraction ball again.
So you can put the white ball near the center pocket where you got your Q-tip, and then play the yellow in the bottom right and actually extract the bottom ball. And if the white sticks, you can actually play yellow onto yellow. So you can still go game from here. Because putting me back up here, now that you got two dead yellows, if I just miss the 8-ball, you got ball in hand again. It doesn't really make a difference. Or much of a difference anyway.
I think part of this is psychological. Like, that's actually just my third shot of the night, because I've been on the bench for 4 rounds. So it's just that I don't have the feel for it yet, right? So I didn't. And then this is the... Here we go. The big awe from the team.
You got me. You got me.
Anyway, and I did. That was to get on the hill. Effectively, I had actually anticipated that perhaps the other frame might have finished. we might have been playing a potential deciding frame for the night. But anyway, like regardless of that, that's only one frame. Your team did win the night. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
It'll be an interesting grand final. Robbo, have you got a prediction for the grand final?
I've got a gut feeling Mick's team's going to win. Again, I think the trio of Mick, Jack, and Timmy is very, very, very strong. Like I wouldn't just, God, they're just going to win so many frames. Gus, Mark Owens, Steve Tran, that's a very strong three as well, but it's different. Mark Owens is, he could get none or one, or he could get 5 or 6. Steve Tran's awesome, but from what I've seen of him this year and finals last week, he was very off and he was winning frames because he got multiple opportunities given back. And Gus does his thing. Gus is like the Jack and Mick and Timmy and them. He's going to be reliable. Gus will win.
Reliable, yeah.
Gus will win his minimum 3. Gus will win anywhere from 3 to 5. If he wins 3, then he's not probably done his job. It depends what happens. If he's only gotten a few chances and wins 3s, and he's done well. But I think the key players is like someone like Logan. Logan could have a really good night, or he could have a really bad night, and it might depend on how his first frame goes.
And get in his head early.
Yeah, and same as
that's right. Like, this is what against us. I think he got a frame on the bird early, and then he was a bit up and about,
and he feels good. So. He's a confidence player.
Yeah.
Same as Thorpe in a different way. If Thorpe wins his first frame, he could have a good night. But if he has a bad frame, especially if he's stuffed up, he could have a really bad night. So I think there's a chance that Timmy, Mick, and Jack versus Owens, Tranny, and Gus cancel each other out. I'll probably give the slight edge to Mick's team there by maybe a frame or 2, maybe. Key players are Logan and Thorpe. But I think
gets decided down the bottom end.
Yeah, I think with the bottom players, Sean Walpole and Bruzzy against Maddie and Jake is close, but I think Maddie and Jake I give the edge as well. I
think Jake's a bit more open and erratic in his style of play. Like he was open against us, but pulled them off.
He can play the shots too. Jake has got a couple of 6s
Maddie will
this
just
season,
be sensible.
and he's very good.
Good on him.
I think if Gus wins 2, like Mick did, I don't see them winning. But I think Mick can win 2 again, and I think Mick's team can still win.
Big vote for you there, Mick. You can win 2.
Well, I can only improve. So I'm not going to win 2 again. I'm going to win 4 or 5 minimum on Tuesday.
But I think you heard it here first, folks.
I don't think Gus's team has lost for like a few months or something.
Yeah. Like 10 or 11 in a row or something.
They've done very, very well. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
well,
they're the only team that beat us, and they beat us 3 times all year, right?
When Logan come into the team full time, that's when they started doing a lot better. He felt it's, as you guys have seen on Tuesday nights, it's so easy to lose 17-19, but yet 2 more frames is a win. And how many times you lose 17-19 and you just needed another frame or 2, even a draw can be all right. When Logan's come in, he's just added that extra couple of frames per night, where the previous person was maybe averaging 2, he's averaging 3 or 4, which gets you draws or wins.
Yeah.
So he's made a big difference there. I wouldn't be surprised if he shot, 60-65%. I don't know what he shot, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, okay. Well, good luck to you, Scerri. And
thank you. Just quickly with Rob Bowen's side, maybe do you think obviously they've got 4 very good players in there, and they've all obviously made state sides 5, right? But obviously, I don't think they can have that. Yeah. I don't think they're going to have that side again next year, because obviously the points are going to go up a little bit with a few players. But do you think maybe with some of their lower end players, maybe not getting 2s and 3s occasionally, maybe hurt them a little bit throughout the season? Because obviously these my team, Gus's side, Rob Bowen's side, like your side, and all the other sides, the lower end players can actually make the difference, not putting the pressure on them, but can actually make the difference between winning a season and losing a season, or getting close to winning, or getting close to not even coming close, in a way.
Well,
I said to Jake, sorry, just quickly, I said to Jake quickly about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I said to Jake on our side, like, he's one of the lower end players. I said, for every frame you get, it's worth actually 2.5. So if you get, 2 frames on a night, it's actually worth 5. If you get 3, it's worth 7.5 frames in a way. And after I said that, I reckon he got 6 within about a month, twice. And
so 15.
Like, yeah. Like, we didn't even have to play.
Yeah.
But your lower end players actually are basically the ones that are going to make the difference whether you win or lose, because the top end players are always going to shoot their 60%, 65, 66, 70, that most of us are going to shoot that, but it's the lower end players that pretty much make up the difference whether you win or lose. Yeah, take all the pressure off us.
I don't know if you noticed, Mick, but Travis Henderson was not there on the night. Rexy was in hospital, unwell. Rexy, if you're watching, we wish you all the best, mate. Hope you're better soon.
Yes, Rexy.
But he epitomizes that player for me. He is an excellent bottom end player.
Yeah,
He plays tactically correct, and he won't push the boat
that night for sure.
We absolutely missed him. Yeah, it wouldn't have made the difference on the night. I think you were going to beat us anyway, but I think it would have been closer. Maybe it changed momentum a little bit. But yeah, hope you're getting well soon, Rexy. Yeah.
Well, it's you can have your top players, like let's say someone like a Rob Bowen. If he shoots 66%, 70% or 75%, that extra 4 or 5% every time is very hard to get that extra bit more. But you can have a bottom point, like a low point player, for them to go from 20% to 30% doesn't take a whole lot more. Them just got to win the occasional extra frame. And a frame is a frame. It doesn't matter if Rob wins, or a low point player. A frame is a frame. So it's very hard to go from getting 4.5 to 5.5 a week. But it's a lot easier for that low point player to go from averaging 1 to just 1.5 or 2, and it makes a big difference. When your low point player wins a frame, especially against one of the other team's better players, it gives a boost, because you're used to them not winning, and then they get a win, maybe they play a good frame, and it's like, shit, that's the opportunity, that's the potential for momentum to kick in, because it doesn't do any good if Scott Parker wins, Rob Bowen wins, Dempsey loses a frame, Jack Green wins. Okay, that's fine. It's 3 to 4, and then you go lose.
Yeah,
you got to start again now.
You're just even. Yeah,
you're even. You got to start again.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if, like, Matty and Jake, for the 2 low point players, shot the highest stats for. If you got every team's bottom 2 point players, it wouldn't surprise me if those 2 shot the highest stats comfortably. Mick's, I don't know the stats, but it wouldn't surprise me if Mick's team actually probably had
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
From their top to bottom, there might have only been 25% in it, where other teams there might be literally 50%.
Yeah. And just something too with Jack Green and Sean Dempsey, like, they're both unreal players. We're very lucky in Victoria to have guys like this coming up. But I think, if these guys want to get better, go back and have a look at that final and just look at how attacking you guys were, and maybe have a look at, like, someone like Matty pulling back a little bit, not forcing the issue. He doesn't have the firepower you guys have got. But if you want to get better, and you guys are, you're not far off of being elite. And if you want to take that next step, it's I think it's time that you need to, and I'm saying this because I want you guys to do well, and you guys are the next generation coming up. So if you want to put the runs on the board, you really need to take the time and learn to basically pull the trigger at the right times. Because obviously, watching you guys play at the moment, I think I feel like you guys are just thinking you're going to win and possibly just never lose in a way. And I know we all feel like that sometimes, but it's amazing how many times, if you just pull back just a little bit and wait that one extra shot, you guys have got the firepower, you got the smarts, you got the intelligence, you got the technique, you got everything going your way. Just hang back a little bit, before you put the foot down. I think if you guys did that, you could easily add an extra 10% onto whatever you shop this year. Quite easily.
Well, thanks, Scerri. I'll make sure that those guys get that, whether they see it on the podcast or not. I'll send that little snippet to them. That's a good message to send.
I think after you guys lost to Gus's team, like if I'm Rob in that position and we're coming into the next match, I'm kind of saying I'm almost putting my team on the spot. I'm actually I'm going to go for a sink or swim here kind of thing, and I'm pretty much saying if you want to go for an out, that's fine. Everyone's got one chance. If you stuff it up, I don't want to see a frame of pool that goes quicker than 10 minutes from you for the rest of the night. I don't care how long you've got to chip and push balls around. I'm going to have a stopwatch on every friggin' match. And if it goes for under 10 minutes, I don't care if you win it, you're getting benched. You know, you need to sometimes really force something. And nothing was really done because you guys just kept attacking. It's finals pool. It's one frame pool. This is not race to sevens, race to nines. It's not the course of the season. It's not a top 20. Like a top 20 is one frame pool, but you're playing them constantly like that. There's swings and stuff. Finals pool is very different. Finals pool, one frame pool. All it would have to take was one of them, like a Sean Dempsey, to kind of have an out on, but deliberately not go for it. Play a really good safety, look at the team and signal to the table, look what I've just done. You're seeing I could have gone for the out. That was 70%. I've deliberately knocked it back and I'm going to make this go 70%, 80%, 90% favorite tactically. And then eventually I'm just going to tap the balls in. And that's what we're all going to do. Instead of finishing at 10 o'clock, we're going to finish at 11:15 because that's how hard we're going to fight and grind for the night. But it just wasn't done. It wasn't done.
And this is a small reason why when Mark's in a team, they always tend to make finals. And players like myself too, when we're in a side or in a team, our team always tends to do well because we do have the knowledge of what Mark just said then and the experience to actually pull up certain players and say, hey, look, this is what you need to do. Like, we're here to have fun, but we're also here to win. Like, no one wants to go, and lose and whatever and then rock up and ref the finals, So just, we're here to win. And
I'd be a fan in future of, we play every team twice during the year. It's actually a reasonably long season. I'd be a fan of actually experimenting with that a couple of times during the season. Just say, look, this is the difference it makes on a night. Feels a bit strange to me to experiment with a new style on the night of a final. I think you want to. Yeah, you want to. But if you had done that during the year and said, even though the score might not have been different, just look at how emotionally drained the other team was.
These guys aren't third division players. They're Sean Dempsey. They just come back from the Worlds. They can take a bit of pushing in the chest and whoops.
But the flip side for them is they should be confident and they should feel like they can go for the outs in that situation. They've had so much success.
Should is a nasty word.
I understand, but if you're going to make a choice between, are you going to have a go? Are you going to back yourself and your ability to have a go, or are you going to pull back and
I promise you, if you said to them, if you have a go, put $100 on a table, and if you don't get it, I'll take it. For every time you have a go and want to have a go, if you get the out, you keep the 100. If you don't, you're going to lose the 100. I promise you, they will pull back 90% of the time. 90% of the time.
Here's my main issue.
And we've experimented with this too.
Is if you guys,
I understand you guys have, yeah.
After you guys played Gus's team and got thumped, what was the plan for the next one? And I bet it was just everyone thinking, we hope to play better.
Well, let me ask you this, Robbo, because you're not in the horse race. Should either Mick's side or Gus's side in the grand final pull back?
Well, they're both winning.
Right. But one of them's going to lose. Should either of them change their style of play?
One of them might not win because, sometimes it doesn't click on the night and everything like that. But the problem is in a race to 19, you don't really know until it's kind of over. Like it gets, I
agree. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the fourth round by the time you go, it's not really working. Well, geez, you've only got 2 frames to go. But if we're at nationals and I'm the captain of Victorian and we played in the semi-finals and we played hyper aggressive and got absolutely flogged and everything was horrible, and now we're playing in the losing semi-finals like do or die, you got to say to the team, all right, what did we do there and what are we going to do different? Because if our game plan is just hope that doesn't happen again, then it's just a losing strategy. You've got to change something up. Like, I would have much rather, like, if I was captain of your team and we played how we did against Gus's team, I would actually say to the team, all right, I'm putting myself at 1 next week. I'm going to break the balls, and it doesn't matter how easy they land. I'm going to play a tactical frame. I'm going to make it go 20 minutes, and I'm going to grind them down the whole night, and you guys are going to back me up on that.
Yeah,
that sort of gives you a bit of fucking like, let's fucking let's outplay them. Let's outplay them, not hope to play well. How the hell do you hope to play well? I'm tipping they all tried in against Gus's team. I'm tipping your team tried hard. Everyone's trying.
Sure.
So then you can't, what are you going to do different? Try harder, or because quite often that actually has the opposite result. You actually play worse. So sometimes
I think something needs to happen, because you had no answers for us on Tuesday. You guys actually just looked all lost. So
agree.
And that's just the way it looks. At halftime, I would have pulled them all aside and said, say something, anything. But anyway,
I think after the second round, I think the first round was 2-4 your way, and the second round was 6-love down. That's the time. Stop. Regroup.
Yeah, we were on 7 in a row, 8 in a row or something, and then we lost one. And I said, okay, boys, I said on my side, I said, all right, boys, let's just try and get another 2, 3, 4 in a row now. So we only just come off an 8-1 or 8 in a row or 7 in a row. And then now I'm telling my guys, let's just try and get another 3 or 4 in a row now. Let's start that momentum again, after you guys just winning one. And whenever you guys actually started yelling out, I tried to yell out over the top of you just to drown you out. So all those little 1%ers, they all add up over time.
Yeah, that's it from me.
That's it.
Thank you,
Good luck tomorrow, Robbo.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I might see you down there.
We might come down and have a look-see. That'll be interesting tomorrow. I'm glad to see this is panning out. And like you put up your hand a couple of weeks ago and said, I'll have a crack at this event. So, and I think what do we figure you're in about the last 24 at this stage? You must be about
around that.
About there. From 150 odd starters. You've delivered for the channel. So thanks for your efforts. And hopefully you get a little bit further. That'd be great.
I've gotten a pass. So I'm allowed to lose now, and it's all right.
You are, you've met expectations.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, that was my goal. Done. All right. I can tell Susie, Marty's happy. He's going to let me lose now. So we've got the weekend back.
So good luck tomorrow, mate. Hopefully we'll see you, and we'll do a wrap of this tournament next week and talk about how the final stages went and Robbo's performance and the winners' results as well. See you all next week, folks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Marc Robertson here with Austin Hoying.
Yes.
12-year-old superstar. Just ended up making the top 32 at the Heyball tournament in Melbourne. How did you find it?
I find it pretty difficult. There was a lot of good players around here.
Yes, a lot of good players. Pretty much all the players you see in the room from Australia, they're like legends of the game. Steve Misford, Joel Younger, Kurt Dunham, Justin Sage, and it goes on. So you actually picked up quite a bit of prize money for your top 32 performance.
Yes.
What was that? Is that about $400 or $500 US?
I think, yeah, around that.
So that's probably about
600.
Call it 700.
Yeah,
let's round it up. About $700 for a 12-year-old. That's a pretty good earn. Just your first paycheck of many big ones to come. So you survived to the 5th day of the tournament. That is an incredible effort. We're going to have incredible things to come. What was your favourite thing?
The tables. The tables was magnificent. Yeah. It was really fast.
And fun game?
Really fun.
Yeah. So
I enjoyed it.
Because you play on the 7-foot tables. I've seen you play there.
Yes.
And snooker as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now on these, which is your favourite?
I think I enjoy all of them.
Enjoyed all of them. Very good answer. Well, I'll see you at the next tournament. Hopefully I don't play you because I'm pretty sure you'll towel me up. Good stuff, buddy. High five. All right, Marc Robertson with Justin Sage here. You just beat George Spiteri 7-1, was it, in your first match?
7-1 on the TV table. Very nice conditions, so yeah, very happy with that performance.
Awesome, good stuff, Justin. What would be your number one tip for anyone new playing this game?
New playing, just get out there and enjoy it. Get down to the pool hall, have a hit with a bunch of friends, and if you like it more and want to get more serious, then get some coaching by someone like Mark or Michael Scerri.
Certainly not me.
Yeah, just get out there and enjoy it and play as much as you can. And yeah, if you're getting serious, then yeah, reach out to some of your locals or your players, and yeah, get a part of the team.
Awesome. And you made the quarters. You lost to Jack Whelan in Sydney.
Yeah.
I didn't see that match. I think it was 7-5, was it?
7-5. I had a chance at 5-all to go 6-5 up. Missed that opportunity, but well, overall in the scheme of things, I was sort of away for 3 weeks and just come back. So good results, making the quarters, but yeah, a little bit disappointing with the loss, I guess.
All right, awesome. Good stuff on your first match. Good luck for the tournament.
Thanks, Mark.
Heyball FM here with the great Alec Evernatis. Just got up 4-3 on the timer. What happened there?
Well, she's a very good player. I knew that because she was runner-up in Australian singles for ladies. Right, yes. So I knew she could pop the balls, and she played some really good shots. I was 3-2 down. Do you want to have a break? Yeah. Needed some fresh air. Got a bit hot in the corner here near the windows. Shit. So I had plenty of time on the clock, and I just knew I'd just play the game and I could get her. And turned out in that last frame there, I got back 3-all after the break, and then 4-3 I played a good out and played okay. And then the last one there, she's had an opportunity and I stuffed it up and
like to the middle.
Yeah, she missed. She missed a long one up the top here or something. I don't know. But then I should have went out with like 6 balls in the middle of the table, and it was a really average effort there. But
tough first round match.
Yeah, I've got the clock going through my head, and as you know, Robbo, playing the girls, it's a little bit different. You know, you're thinking about where's her balls and where's. She needs 2 dead balls to, have a problem.
Yeah,
and if it's clustered next to yours, then it's like, fuck, how do I get that out before, and not open it up for her? And it's a really different thinking game.
It's you're both playing with 2 different sets of rules. It's a new one for us. We'll get used to it.
I enjoy it. I think
it was a good battle.
I think if it brings the girls into the game, there are tournaments where there's no women. That was last week in the Oceania, and this time there are the women, and I enjoy it. It's a different challenge. As you know, I enjoy the game. And
some people around the room have been saying maybe is it too strong, and I say, well, maybe if they're winning all the tournaments, but they've got to be winning them.
Yeah, they're not winning every tournament. They might beat top players, but they're not winning the tournaments yet. You know, and if they do, fuck, well done.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so you're into the winner's side. I'm on the loser's side. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's where I like it.
Not me. Let's see that. Marc Robertson here, joined with none other than Steve Jamieson on day 5 of the Heyball tournament.
Morning.
You are alive.
Still alive.
Still alive. You got through a nail-biting shootout against April yesterday. What happened there?
Yeah. She was a steady player. I think she's one of the top USA females. And I went 4-2 up, found myself 4-2 behind. And she drew back to 4-all, and then master broke me to go 5-4 in front. I managed to steal a frame to go 6-all with 1 minute left, and I think I got her 10-9 in a shootout or something. So she just kept playing the black and putting me under pressure. And,
I actually got it on video. I was recording from behind someone's shoulder off the side. So you both missed the first 2, and then you both made the next 4 in a row each.
Yeah.
And then she finally missed. To knock in 4 in a row on these tables, long distance, white and Balkan, you're playing like the pink ball. That's tough stuff. So to knock in 4 in a row each, 8 in all, and then she's missed, and then you've knocked in the nail in the coffin. So she put you under the pump there. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I was as well. She's steady. I think she may still be in on the other side, so I think she's still going. Yeah, don't really want to see her again.
They're tough
with the handicap.
Talking about tough, you've probably got the tournament favourite today.
Yeah.
Probably got the tournament favourite today.
Yeah.
I think, is that on, I hope that's on the TV table?
No, it's not.
It's not.
No,
Right.
it's on the table behind us.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of very, very, very good matches. I'm actually playing, so you're playing over there, and I'm actually just playing there.
Okay.
So I will be able to watch your match. I'm very keen on seeing how that one goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. My match after April, I won 7-0. I think I missed 1 or 2 balls.
Yep.
So if I play like that, he'll definitely have a match on his hands.
Yeah.
And I think when you win a match like that on a tiebreaker, you sort of feel like you should be out. And you've got like a free dip at it. So my white ball's slowly getting better. It's hard to control the heavy white. So
if you can
I've only been playing for 3 weeks this game. So I'm super excited.
So if you can bring your form from the last match into this one, you think you're going to give him a good run?
Yeah, I'll do.
All the best, Gemma. I'll let you get back to your practice.
Cheers, mate.
Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good morning, Marc Robertson here with Toby Clack at the ZZ Joy Billiards venue in the city. We're in the late stages of the tournament here, and Toby, you're still in?
Yes, still kicking in the loser side of the draw, but through the last 32 at the moment. So,
well, I suppose with this draw, even though you said you're on the loser side of the draw, if you win a match or two today, then you're back in the top 16 and the resets again.
Yeah, I think the difference is that the winner's side just has to win 1 more match, but if you're in the loser's side, then there's 2 more matches through to the 16. Yeah.
That's it. That's the beauty of this format. So you played your dad as always. You guys seem to play a lot in tournaments.
We do draw each other more than is statistically likely, but
early rounds as well.
Very first match when there were still 128 of us left. So tell me what the chances are of that. But
I'm sure you've worked it out.
he touched me up a bit, gave me a lesson, so sent me straight into the loser's draw.
Yep, as he does. Tough lessons. And you played Jack Whelan last night. I saw it looked like a close early frame, and then I left, and you actually lost 7-1. What happened there?
Well, he played fantastic. I got nothing bad to say about him. So I was 2-1 down, had a chance for a master break, hampered queuing down the rail, sat over the pocket, and then he potted out, and then he potted out, and he potted out, and he potted out, and I didn't set a table till it was 6-1.
Yep, and that's what happens, and that's the winner, the danger of the winner breaks as well. Jack Whelan probably tournament favourite, but plenty of life left in it.
Absolutely, one way to go.
Good luck for the rest.
Cheers. Cheers. Thanks.
Marc Robertson with Steve Misford here, legend of Australian snooker and Q Sports. Is this your first Chinese 8-ball tournament?
Correct.
Correct. How are you finding it?
It's fun.
It's fun.
I'm enjoying it. It's a new challenge and great atmosphere at this venue. And there's a bit of a buzz about this game. So
That's it. So there's still a whole bunch of players, snooker players like Kurt, your brother, Joel, yourself. There's a few other guys with a bit of a snooker background. How much do you think your snooker history helps you with this game?
I've been out of the pool scene for over 10 years, Mark, so it's my first tournament, so I've only played a few days. I can't really comment too much on that. You would be more of a... I should be asking you the question. But, the table is like a miniature snooker table.
Yeah.
So, and it plays very similar to the professional snooker table, so that...
Do you feel there's...
that has to go well for anyone with a snooker background.
Yeah. Do you feel there's long shots, or are you just so comfortable with a 5 or 6 foot shot it doesn't bother you?
Yeah, there are long shots. It depends. Different players have different skills, don't they? So,
yep.
I guess the great long potters of Australian snooker, and they wouldn't think there were any long shots on a table like this.
Need to stop
I'm sort of a different kind of player. I like to be nice, close in.
Right.
So I've never,
I'm sure you'll go well
for my long potting. So.
Well, who have you got today?
I played Justin today, so that's the acid test.
Justin, here we go.
The legend.
That's it. Well, 2 legends of Australian Q Sports going to go at it. Hope you're on the TV table, actually. That'll be a good one for everyone to watch.
There's so many good games. They could all be on the TV, I think, today. There's so many good games. Who have you got, Mike?
Jake.
Yeah.
Jake McCartney,
Just be on TV as well.
Down at the business end, hey. Good luck for today and all the rest of the tournament.
Good luck to you too, mate.
Thanks, Steve.